there's no doubt these animals are truly amazing. So can we give them a nice round of applause? Well, through the years, we've certainly learned a lot about dolphins. But like a lot of animals in the oceans, Pacific white-sided dolphins still remain shrouded in mystery. But with the help of Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen, researchers here at the aquarium are working to uncover those mysteries and learn a whole lot more about them. And working with these dolphins really is a unique opportunity because Pacific white-sided dolphins are rare to find in facilities. They can be identified by those torpedo-shaped bodies and that distinct color pattern of black, gray, and white that runs all along their sides, as we can see here. Now, Pacific white-sided dolphins, they're also considered to be one of the most acrobatic species of dolphins. And I bet you can tell why. Acrobatic, no? Yes, I think so. Now, like their name suggests, they can also be found right here in the North Pacific Ocean, all the way from northern Mexico up to Alaska, and then across and over into Japan. So can you raise your hand? Has anybody here ever seen a Pacific white-sided dolphin like this in the ocean before? We've got only 3 or 4 of you. Well, definitely going to want to keep your eyes open because they've been spotted in Vancouver fairly recently, so you may have a chance of seeing them. But like a lot of animals in the oceans, Pacific white-sided dolphins face many dangers. And Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen all have first-hand experience with these threats. So Charlotte, since you work so closely with these dolphins, could you tell us a little bit more about their stories of survival?
I sure can, Aaliyah. All 3 of our dolphins are what we refer to as rescued and rehabilitated animals. They were found off the coast of Japan, entangled in fishing nets, and brought to a rehabilitation center where they were deemed non-releasable. Luckily, we've been able to provide them with a permanent home here at the Wild Coast. Working with me today is Spinnaker. He's been here the longest, and we've been able to build and maintain a very strong relationship with him in order to provide him with the best possible care through training and regular checkups. Everything that we learned through Spinnaker's healthcare is used to help researchers and veterinarians to gain a better understanding of these mysterious dolphins. In fact, every day that we spend with Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah reveals more information about their species as well as their individual personalities, which, believe it or not, are just as different as you and I. Isn't that right, you guys? Yes. But most of all, Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah remind us every day that nets can pose a serious threat to dolphins all over the world.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And together with researchers, we're hoping to better understand the threats that face Pacific white-sided dolphins and hopefully help them and better protect them. But in order to do that, we first need to take a look at what we already know. And we know that Pacific white-sided dolphins travel in groups. Sometimes these groups are as small as 2 or 3, like we see here, but sometimes these groups can be over 2,000 in number. We also know that Pacific white-sided dolphins travel together, sometimes at incredible speeds. For those of you in the underwater viewing gallery, you're getting a glimpse of these speeds. We're also catching a glimpse of that speed from up here as well.
That's crazy.
Now, Pacific white-sided dolphins have been clocked at about 35 kilometers an hour, which is slightly faster than the speed limit through Stanley Park. Now, obviously, they need these speeds in order to avoid predators, but it also helps them catch their prey. So speaking of prey, can everyone shout out for me? What do you think a Pacific white-sided dolphin eats? Fish. You got it. Now imagine for a moment that you're a Pacific white-sided dolphin hunting for food in the North Pacific Ocean. Now, even though our waters are teeming with life, the deeper you go, the darker it gets. But dolphins have the ability to penetrate this darkness using sound. They use an animal form of sonar, and it's called echolocation. Take a listen. What you just heard are echolocation echolocation clicks produced by Pacific white-sided dolphins. As they send them out into the water column, they start bouncing off of objects, and then the dolphins can actually listen to them and form a mental picture of their underwater worlds. And we know through research that echolocation is an incredibly accurate sense. So why then are dolphins getting entangled in nets? Well, that's exactly the question that we're trying to answer with the help of Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen. For the last couple of years, we've been working closely with them to ensure that they're comfortable wearing gelatin eye cups that look like this. We first started by simply placing these eye cups on various parts of their bodies. But then, recently, we've been able to voluntarily ask the dolphins to cover their eyes and swim through the habitat with their eyes covered. We can then use hydrophones to listen and observe the way that dolphins can navigate through the water without the use of their vision. Now, through this research, we're hoping to better understand echolocation and hopefully figure out more about why they're ending up in nets as they hunt for food. And we're really lucky to work with Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen because they provide us with an opportunity to do research that just wouldn't be possible out in the oceans. And research shows that Pacific white-sided dolphins are incredibly energetic, acrobatic, and playful in nature, as we can see both above and below the water in their amazing aerial displays. And we know that the energy that they need in order to do this comes from the food that they eat. As we've just seen, they can use echolocation to help them find their food, but they also rely on sound for communication. Because Pacific white-sided dolphins are very social animals. In fact, they can be seen all over the North Pacific Ocean socializing in large groups. Most recently, they were spotted in Seashell Inlet not too long ago, showcasing their amazing acrobatic and playful natures. Pacific white-sided dolphins are also very vocal, and they have a really big a variety of sounds that they can use in order to communicate. And sometimes we can even hear what these sounds like. That one's my favorite. Can we give them a round of applause? Though this may not be the only way that they can communicate, it's also thought that they can perhaps use touch or even acrobatic behaviors in order to communicate with the dolphins around them. In fact, there is a leap. It looks like that. That is called a breach. Researchers believe that this can be used to signal to surrounding dolphins. Tail slaps like we can see over there, well, they certainly generate a lot of noise, but it could also potentially be used as a way to stun prey. But of course, Pacific white-sided dolphins aren't the only things in the oceans making lots of noise. Can anyone think of anything man-made that makes a lot of noise? Shout it out. Boats, you got it. Now, boats are certainly a big source of noise pollution in the North Pacific. And Pacific white-sided dolphins are often seen in very close proximity to these boats. They're often even seen bow riding, like we can see here, off of the front of large fishing vessels. But the effects of noise pollution on Pacific white-sided dolphins, well, that's just another mystery that still remains to be uncovered. And like a lot of great mysteries out there, the more that we uncover, the more questions we actually end up with. And the biggest question that we're dedicated to answering here at the aquarium is how can we better help these amazing animals? Because they really are amazing. And as we've seen through Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen, it's man-made objects that pose many dangers to these amazing animals. But the good news is there's small things we can do every single day to help. And the first step is to simply make sure that our garbage doesn't make it into their homes. And you can all start today. By using the properly labeled bin, whether that is garbage or compost or recycling, we can all work hard together to ensure that their homes stay safe so that they can thrive off of our coast in the years to come. Now, even though Pacific white-sided dolphins still remain shrouded in mystery, it's only with the help of Spinnaker, Hannah, and Helen, there they are, our researchers, and every single one of you, that we can all work hard to hopefully uncover those mysteries and learn how we can better protect them. At any rate, as a thank you to our dolphins for helping us in our research, do you think we can give them one last round of applause? joining us today, and we all hope that you enjoy the rest of your day here at the Vancouver Aquarium. Thank you very much, everyone. Once again, my name is Aaliyah. Still Aaliyah, it hasn't changed. I'm still waving at you on the rocks here in the Wild Coast. If you do have any questions at all about anything we've talked about today, feel free to come on over and ask those questions to me. I am going to be located right over here, so feel free to come over here and ask those questions. I'm more than happy to answer those for you. Thanks so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.